So let's get things started with an easy one. First, what drove you into Web3? Because you have quite the background, which I hope you can share with us and tell us how were the opportunities in the Web3 space better than in the other places that you were working in.
It's interesting with I think free speech is probably one of those issues that more than anything has driven my interest and my participation in Web3. Because when we look at the rise of centralized technologies across the internet, I started off in this space when everyone had their own little website that they were building, and we all were sort of in control of what we were doing. And, sharing involved reaching out to other bloggers and trying to work out being on their blog, and they were on your blog. It was all very organic. But and forums were great as well because they were, sort of niche little neighborhoods of thought. But as we started to rise up into these centralized global communications platforms in social media, a lot of that went away, and conversation itself started to be aggressively shaped by not just the community standards of those platforms, but also the algorithms in general. You might not get banned for saying something controversial, but your voice can disappear because the algorithm can just derank you and you don't get seen. So when I look at Web3 and decentralized technology in particular, what I see is a landscape where we can actually return to that real mission of free speech online, because the users themselves are the owners of the networks that they're communicating on. And so that's kind of the passion side of it for me.
Yeah, the censorship stuff that takes place is it's problematic, and I think what we're finding, at least in America these days, is people are aware of it at the very least, and whether they want to do something about it is one thing, but there is this broad awareness of it, and people generally don't seem to like it. They either don't care or they really, really care, and they don't like it at all.
I think it's interesting that we saw on Reddit in the last couple of weeks that Elon Musk had found some content there distasteful and reached out to the Reddit's senior management, and Reddit started effectively censoring posts that were related to him along the way. I don't think that people ever really understood how few people control what you're able to see and say online, because a lot of these platforms felt like a public commons of sorts. Reddit was one of them where it felt like the users of the site were running the site. They're the mods of the groups and all the rest of that. But at the end of the day, you've got a board, and that board makes the ultimate decision about what gets to be seen and what doesn't. And that's a very small number of very wealthy people generally. And that's not any way to protect speech.